This year in March, the government adopted a new policy called Option B+, and it's headed to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV, and it's spearheaded by the First Lady, Janet Museveni, the MP of Ruhama County, and is in charge of Karamoja also, and she's spearheading this whole campaign, and it's spread. Last month we were in Tungamo. We had a very good chat about it, and we talked about male involvement with the women's pregnancy, escorting them for antenatal, and we talked about it over and over again and encouraged men, and we hope that they change. But today we are in Lira, getting a chance to explore this campaign even deeper and deeper. But before we go ahead, the doctor, introduce yourself and please throw more light and teach me also.
Thank you, Anne. I'm John Paul. I'm a medical officer. And yes, like you have said, Option B Plus is a new policy which has been set up by the Ministry of Health. And here we shall be targeting all pregnant women who are found to be HIV positive. The policy expects that these mothers are initiated on the life-saving antiretroviral medication, ARVs, we commonly call them, for life. So as soon as a mother is pregnant and we find her HIV positive through the antenatal care, then we expect these mothers to go through a series of interventions that actually will minimize the possibility that her unborn baby actually gets HIV from her as a mother. That is, in a nutshell, what Option B Plus is all about.
How different is this campaign as opposed to the rest you've always carried to reduce? How different is it from all the other campaigns you've had?
The difference which we have discovered is that with the elimination now, we are targeting at least all the pregnant mothers to be initiated immediately after we have tested them and they are positive. We initiate them on lifelong treatment. And earlier on, we used to only give treatment from 14 weeks of pregnancy. Then after the delivery, we stop at 1 month. I mean at 7 days.
And medication would stop.
Yeah, and medication stops. But now we are introducing them on lifelong. And from there, we also give the babies what we call the nevirapine syrups for 6 weeks. From there, the first blood, which we call the PCR, is taken. Then we check. Then after removing the baby from the breast milk, we again retest. And most of them, the results is telling us that they are now becoming negative. And this is so wonderful.
Why do you think that emphasis is being put on this particular campaign?
Yes, and actually the emphasis now is on Option B Plus, because this is actually what we call a high-end intervention. It has been proven actually to significantly minimize the threat or the risk of transmission of HIV to these unborn children. The previous options, like he said, were options which were less potent, and there were single drug options which actually, other than preventing the transmission, they were less effective to begin with, and then you're putting this mother on a single medication. So you're actually putting her at risk of even developing resistance to that particular medication before you eventually start her on treatment. So you're now looking at an option which not only preventing the transmission to the child, you're also putting that mother on treatment. So you're actually, in effect, like hitting two birds with one stone at the same time.
One thing I've really seen with Option B Plus, I really believe that in 2015, if our mothers adhere well, we are going to meet that target very well. Because one thing I have realized is that we are now trying to fight the HIV from every point of its entrance. Previously, Option A Plus, it would only prevent the mother more during the time of giving birth, and then maybe do the child within the first 6 weeks or when the child is out. But when you look at Option B Plus, it's the child is protected all over.
All over before
yes,
birth,
in pregnancy, during birth, and then also during lactation.
You talked of a target. You said you have met your target. What would your target be?
To me, in 2015, if I had the powers, I believe that all the mothers who have started Option B Plus would have their babies tested negative.
Okay, let's first take a look at the First Lady, Janet Museveni, also the MP of Ruhama County and Minister in charge of Karamoja, who is the goodwill ambassador of the EMTC campaign. Then when we come back, we'll take on the joy that we had received from this young lady.
You know, I'm a parent and I am a grandparent. That's why I have learned that there are few things in this world as hearing beautiful laughter of children and seeing healthy children. That is why I'm calling upon all parents to give our children a chance at a healthy life. I am Janet Kataha Museveni. I'm now the champion of the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV in Uganda. And I say, please, let us eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Parents go together as a couple for HIV testing. And if you find you're negative, please stay faithful to each other. If you're positive, seek medical assistance. Mothers, please always attend antenatal care 4 times and give birth in a healthy facility to guarantee that your baby will be born HIV-free.
Dear fathers, stand for HIV with our mothers when they get pregnant, so that we can have an HIV-free generation.
Stand out, participate, protect, you can have an HIV-free baby.
I'm seeing here that EMTC services are provided in all hospitals, all health center 4s, most health center 3s, and 15% of health center 2s. This means that you can only access this help or this information or this health if you go to hospital. But then we know that very few women go to hospital. We know of women who prefer giving birth in their gardens or go to the auntie who is an expert, or even places where there are no health centers. So how do you hope to open doors for such people who have no knowledge about these health centers? Madam?
We want everybody to hear about it. That's why we are on radio. We have devoted the campaign, the radio talk shows to the campaign for the last 2 radio talk shows.
I get scared when you talk about radio talk shows to someone who doesn't even access a health facility.
Okay, besides radio talk shows, we are orienting VHTs, Village Health Team members today. We want them to know about what
Today as we speak.
Today as we speak, they are being oriented, and these are people who come from the grassroots. So we expect and we know, we are sure that after that, they are going to be equipped with the knowledge and skills that they need to go and spread, disseminate that information, so that even the person far down at the farthest end of the whole of the district will know about it, and they will be encouraged to come eventually on the 28th of June when we are going to launch it. Right now it is a campaign, and we are expecting that services are being beefed up at the health facilities all over Lira.
I've not heard you mention men. How are we going to involve them so that they actually, because they are the decision makers at home, they can decide you're not going to hospital and you will not go to hospital. So how are we going to involve men?
It is good to involve men in antenatal care. As I'm the very person who benefited from this option B. Yeah. So I will be mobilizing them in the village there.
You're saying you benefited because
Yes.
if they're watching, they want to know how did you benefit? How did you benefit in this option B?
I had a child who was born from the mother who is HIV positive, but she was put on ARV. I'm also on ARV. That is how I benefited it, and the child is now negative. I have 2 children who is negative, a girl and a boy.
How hard was it for you? How did you overcome that whole fear of I'm going with my wife for antenatal and we are going through this, and how was it for you going with your wife for antenatal, deciding to take up the B+ option? How was it for you?
It was not hard for me because when you go with your wife, you will be served first. Those who doesn't go with their wife, they should be.
You get priority.
Yes, you get priority. Yeah.
So you were served first. There
Yeah.
was no waiting.
No waiting.
I also think somebody is bound to feel more proud if they are heading a healthy family. If you are a man and you want to be held in high esteem, you yourself, first of all, you should look healthy. Other people will also look at you and admire you and want to associate with you. And if you are heading a family of healthy children, then you will be looked at as a source of knowledge from the other people in the community who also want to have such children. So if you've been told that through option B+, even if you are HIV positive, you have a chance of getting a healthy child, then I think any right-minded person would go for it.
What reasons do men give for not going with their wives to hospital?
Yeah, mostly men always talked about the time factor. That when they move to the hospital, the services tend to take too long for them and the whole day is wasted. And on top of that, they always also say that it is somehow shameful to move with your wife together. You know, in the community, people in the villages, people fear to move with their wives together. They fear to identify themselves with their women. Maybe because of how they have not kept their women well and the rest. So you find them, they have that fear. But now that they have seen the benefit of this option B, and we are using many ways of at least convincing them to bring their wives for ANC, for antenatal care. One, we are using the churches to convince them. So the church leaders are giving a lot of effort, at least to convince men to be taking their wives for an antenatal care. Then we are also using, when we have the funeral rites, we also beg for at least some minutes to pass the information. And people are also passing the
every
information.
chance you get,
yes, any opportunity given, we just pass. And now, men have started picking up. And we are using expert clients, like he has talked about. Most of them are moving deep to the community. And the community linkage person like ourselves, as he talked about, they are also moving to the community, trying to at least tell them that, look here, this thing is very beneficial. Let us go for these services. And you will see, me, I was there, my child is now negative. So most of them are now coming and they are now accessing services. And I believe things are going to be wonderful.
Amen.
I loved it.
Amen. Amen. Has your husband always been there when you're going to hospital?
I got married in last year and I have a baby girl. When I was pregnant, my husband was working in Kulu, but he came. I called him and I told him that me, I'm pregnant. We have to go for antenatal together. He told me that, hey, you, will I not be delayed? I said, no, let's go. You know me, I was born with the virus, but I don't want my baby to get the virus again. We have to go for antenatal until it's time for delivery. And the man accepted. And every time we are coming to antenatal, he has to be there. He dropped me, he stays and wait for me. After we go like that up to when I was taken to the maternity.
How does it feel to have a baby who you know is healthy, and how does it feel?
Even up to now, the man is happy because the baby is negative. She's now 10 months, but she's now standing, calling all the things like mom, dad. Now the mother, the dad is very happy, even admiring the baby. And he's not saying another 5 years to come, we have to get another baby.
Another healthy baby. I hope you're watching and getting the joy I'm feeling in my heart. And you should have clapped for this lady for being so brave. And your husband for being such a good husband. Okay, now what are those challenges you're having so far with the campaign? As in, what are those things, your biggest stumbling blocks you're having as the campaign goes on?
The challenges also in terms of mobilization is not easy. Today, we have sent people to various sub-counties to go and at least sensitize the village health team for the message to reach down to the grassroots. But the phone calls that I'm getting Some sub-counties, they have not yet they were not mobilized, so some sub-counties are going on. So you find that mobilization is a big challenge, right from the district moving down to the grassroots.
So talking of mobilization, if you're in Lira, please don't miss out on the 28th, Friday next week, at the golf course. You'll just go there and access so much information, and you live when you're a better person. You live knowing how to protect your family better, and you can also be an ambassador in your own